Okay, so now we're gonna try to make it look a little bit more realistic. So I have an ebony pencil and I have a blue color pencil. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna zoom in on the whipped cream because that's what I'm gonna work on first. So with my colored pencil, which I don't have a very big lead on mine, all I'm gonna do is right on the outside edge, I'm gonna make just a little bit of blue because that would be a little shadowed. And then as I come in, I'm gonna lighten up the pressure. So the outside shape and the bottom should be a darker blue. And then as I go in, I'm gonna let up on the pressure because it should be very, very light. I'm not adding a ton of blue. I'm not going in and making the whole thing blue. I'm also, any lines I added for texture, I'm going in with that. And I'm also kind of just going over those really quick. Okay, so that's super easy. So now once I'm ready for my shadow, I'm gonna be using ebony pencil for that part. So ebony pencils are so great. You're gonna use these in 5th grade also because they make a great realistic shadow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go under my whipped cream, I'm gonna go under my pie, and then I'm gonna go under my plate. So ebony pencils are just a very soft version of a pencil, but they're great for adding those shadows, and it definitely makes things pop a little bit. So notice I'm not holding it the same way I would a pencil because I don't need a very dark line, but I can always, it's buildable. I can come back in and I can add shadow if I need it, okay? So notice I'm lightly just going back and forth under my whipped cream. Once I see, in fact, let me make that bigger. Once I see that it looks pretty good, I'm gonna take a Kleenex, I'm gonna wrap it around my finger. The last thing you wanna do with this is just rub your whole paper. It will not look great. I'm gonna go in with my Kleenex and I'm gonna control where I'm rubbing, okay? So I did that part, it looks amazing. I'm gonna go under my pie now. So with the same pencil, I'm just kind of going side to side. I want it to be darkest right underneath my pie, and then I can go ahead and lighten up the pressure and bring a little bit of that shadow out. And again, if it's too light the first time, I can go back in and I can add more. Then I'm gonna take my tissue, I'm gonna take the same tissue, you shouldn't need a million of these, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just rubbing side to side and rubbing that shadow down a little bit. In fact, it'll kind of come down a little bit even where you didn't add your the ebony pencil in the first place. Then I'm gonna come right underneath the plate. So when we're doing this, our light source, we're telling the viewer that the light source is back here because we are shading in the opposite side. So the shadow should always be in the same part for all of the things that would create a shadow on your paper if you're trying to make things look realistic. So notice I'm not adding a ton of pencil. I'm controlling what I'm doing, and then I'm going in with my Kleenex, and I'm very controlled in where I'm smudging. I'm not smudging it all over my paper, only on the ebony, and then I'm bringing it down just a little bit.